What's going on, guys? It's Vince here, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to immediately boost coaching program sales. And when I say immediately, I literally mean immediately. Like, you can use this information and go off and either boost your close rate tomorrow, get more leads inbound tomorrow. Maybe there's some prospects that you're following up with, or maybe there's some people that are kind of watching you, watching your Instagram stories, watching your YouTube videos, watching TikToks, whatever it may be, and they're on the fence, but they haven't bought yet. This video is going to be going over what are the boxes that need to be ticked or checked off in order for people to actually have the mechanical release taken off from their, I guess you could say, the lock or the part of their brain that is preventing them from actually purchasing. There's always one little thing that every single person needs more than anything. A good example is like some people have different emotional parts of their brain or different logical parts of their brain that need to be triggered in order for a purchase to occur. And we'll go into that momentarily. But if you guys don't know me, Vince, co-founder of ASM.close. We are a company that scales coaching offers, coaching businesses past $20K per month in under 180 days, targeting 90. Some social proof, just so you know that I'm not talking out of my ass, and I know what I'm talking about. Here's more social proof. More. So yeah, just so you guys can see that I know what I'm talking about. We routinely do this ourselves. I'm not going to go into our specific revenue numbers because that's a little distasteful. However, I can say that I have experienced all of these. I've bought coaching programs coaching and courses up to 25 grand and sold ones up to 15,000 personally. So I'll just go right into it, actually. There's no reason to waste and give even more of an intro. So the first box that needs to be ticked, this one is a little bit, the reason I want to do this one first is because it's a little bit less obvious as the other ones. It's a little bit less, objectively like, oh yeah, I immediately know what he's talking about. This one is a little bit more amalgamous, so I'm going to tackle it first, but it's the one that's subconsciously the most important. Like, if this one isn't here, none of the others matter. So the first box that needs to be checked, outside of the fact that the person actually needs the thing in the first place, like they need your program, your solution, whatever it may be. Outside of that, the most important one is Mr. Right. And when I say that, what I'm referring to is that you need to be the guy. You need to be him. You need to be the person that has the magnetism and the attraction in order for people to want to buy something in the first place, right? Do you frame yourself as the person to coach others is the main point here. Are you presenting your story in such a fashion or presenting yourself in such a fashion that you are deemed as the leader in social situations and as the one that needs to be looked up to, correct? Does this make sense? Hopefully it does. So first big point on this is that information and education is not everything. What I mean by that is that the person that just has the most knowledge stuffed in their brain is not the person that is either A, meant to be the leader, or is even a good coach, trainer, whatever you want to say. Coach, trainer, program, operator. It does not matter what you call it. The person who's the most informed and educated is not the best person for the job, and people inherently know that. That's why the smartest people in the world are not the ones who are paid the most, right? There's 200 IQ scientists that get paid 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year, just because they're not in a position of where people are looking up to them and want their leadership and expertise, right? Expertise is a bit different than information and education. It is not the same thing. Yeah, the simple explanation here is that it's really just about people look up to a leader. They do not look up to the most intelligent person, fundamentally. And there's a variety of qualities. We're not going to do a whole seminar on fucking how leadership works, anything like that. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to glance over these one by one. You guys absolutely know what I'm talking about. I don't have to give the fourth grade explanation here. Next is that people need to see that you have an abundant amount of life experience. Now, the reason I say that is because in any sort of done-with-you offer or coaching program, half the goddamn time, you're not even talking about you're not even talking about the program. Half the time is just telling people like, hey, be consistent, and see it through. That is literally half of all coaching is, I fucking hate to say it because I personally don't like it, but half of any coaching, it doesn't matter, consulting or what it is, half of it is literally life experience, because half of all problems are just, 90% of all problems are just solved by volume and experimentation. So a lot of the reason I say that people need to see that you have an abundant amount of life experience is that people need to know that when it comes to those situations where they can ask you about like, hey, like, how come this is happening? How come I'm not there yet? How come I'm not getting results fast enough? You need to be able to come in, swoop in, and just be like, look, it's okay. Half of this is solved by consistency. The other half is solved by experimentation and learning on the fly. So that's one big point. People need to see that you have an abundant amount of life experience and are demonstrating that consistently. So why storytelling is extremely important, right? And then finally, there's so many more sub points in each one of these, but I just wanted to give 3 major points for each one. Make it straight and simple. Next one is that people need to see you maintain your composure within your content, and that is placing you in the highest frame possible. What I mean by that is, when I say maintain composure, I'm not talking about like, oh, you don't get mad or stuff like that. I'm talking about just across the board, you have to come off dialed and focused and like you are on a mission, if that makes sense. People always want to be attached to the guy that's on the mission, the knight archetype, right? That's how all of history and all, hero story arcs go. Everyone wants to be attached to the knight archetype. The knight archetype is the guy that maintains his composure. He's laser focused on the mission. He's compulsively focused on that mission, and you guys need to demonstrate that as well. And that's going to place you on your highest frame. Sorry about that. My buddy just came to the door really quick. All right, we are back. So, like I was saying, knight archetype, people want to see that you are maintaining composure and that you are laser focused on the mission at all times, right? So, moving on to the next one, the FOMO trigger. Do people see that other people are buying? Really big fucking point here. Really big fucking point. Especially because, remember, if you are selling a coaching offer, you are inherently selling to customers, not to other businesses. Yes, I know there's coaching programs for other businesses. Ours is actually inherently more meant for, it's technically more B2B than it is B2C. But what I'm getting at is that when you have an offer that is done with you, people need to see, or how do I put this? People maintain the crowd mentality far more than when it comes to B2B offers. Yes, it does help if people see that if you run an agency or something like that, that they see that other people are working with you. Same exact thing. People just need to see that other people are buying into the program. No one wants to be the first person, ever. No one wants to be the first person to buy a thing, to, try the new thing, whatever it may be. So that's the first one, is that people need to see that other people are actually buying into the program. Next, and that means consistently, by the way, if people see that other people are joining consistently, it's game over. It just becomes a compounding movement. Just the fact that people are buying in will increase. Like if you are demonstrating, let's say in Instagram stories or whatever, that you have people routinely buying into your program, you will get more people buying into your program. I'm not kidding. So there's that. Next is that people need to see that other people, this is going to sound really dumb, but people need to see that other people are having a good time and networking inside the program. It sounds dumb, and I don't make the rules, but this is just what it is. People need to see that other people, like imagine any program that you've ever bought into, and you saw that people inside the program were networking, having a good time, on top of getting their results. No shit. But you saw that alone is enough for some people to buy without anything else in there. I've literally bought into coaching programs before because I just knew that there was a bunch of people inside that were networking, and I just was like, I just wanted that in, so I bought it, right? Next, I kind of went over this already, but people need to see other people joining consistently. When they see that consistent inflow, they're going to feel like they're missing out, which is a huge part. Like, because if you're selling a done with you offer, it's inherently more to a customer rather than to a business. So when they see that, you need to trigger that FOMO. You really, really fucking do. I cannot tell you how much it helps to just be like, oh, yeah, we have 30, 40, 50 people in. Like every week, there's like 10 more people joining in, right? It makes it so that your flywheel spins faster and you get the whole compounding effect working in your favor. Next, number 3, your offer and what your vehicle to getting people results, it needs to make mechanical sense. And yeah, how you get people results makes logical sense to prospects, leads, customers, so on and so forth. And this is where it actually starts to get more intelligent people, right? I should have actually switched this. I should have moved it to, I should have pretend that this column right here is right here. And what it's supposed to look like, I didn't even think about this until literally this moment, right as I'm on this video. But if you look at this in a linear fashion where it goes, Mr. Right, FOMO trigger, pretend that verifiable results are right here and makes mechanical sense is right here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pause the video and switch it. Hold on. Okay, so we just switched it around. What I want you to think of this as is that the smarter your audience is, the more you need to be on this side of the boxes ticked. The dumber your audience is, you go over here. All of these need to be done anyway. All of these need to be done on a consistent basis anyway. However, the dumber or these more intelligent your customer is, the more that if the thing makes mechanical sense, they'll just buy. They will. Like smarter people, I'm not kidding, if you're watching this, smarter people don't even get on sales calls. Intelligent people they close through DMs because they understand that it's faster and they understand that things make mechanical sense. Okay? If something makes mechanical sense, just fucking do it, right? These people, the reason that sales calls need to happen in the first place is because people they inherently have flawed decision-making processes, and because their prior decision-making processes are so fucked and they are so dumb, they have to get on a sales call and then take a whole 45 minutes to an hour to make an accurate prediction as to whether or not they can they need to take 45 minutes to an hour on a sales call debating in their own head whether or not they can trust a decision that they make themselves, right? That's why sales calls need to happen in the first place, is because people are inherently mentally retarded, right? But, and I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is all like really good stuff in terms of, if you really think about it, the people that are smarter, they go here, they immediately think, does this thing make mechanical sense? They don't, yes, they need to basically see that this has worked before, but fundamentally it's like, makes mechanical sense, execute. Makes mechanical sense, execute. Because they trust their own decision-making, right? Right? Makes sense? If you trust your own decision-making, if something makes mechanical sense, you just execute like that, on the spot. Now, getting back into the main portion of this video. I know I went on like a crazy tangent there. I bet you 90% of the people that are watching this right now have never heard of that before, that if you have to take sales calls in the first place, like if you have to go onto sales calls instead of just executing through DMs, or like just, lightning speed execution, right off the bat, you have a flawed decision-making process because you can't trust your own prior decision-making abilities, right? So you need to come on and have a little 45-minute, is this right for me, right? So, a good example is that Liam and I, we don't even really take sales calls. We get on because we know that, the person they're used to having to take sales calls in the first place, but we'll get on the call and within 5 minutes we'll have bought the thing already, because we're just like, dude, we don't have any questions. We understand what the thing is, what the outcome is. Let's just move. $5,000, inside of 2 or 3 minutes, immediately, just move. Just as an example. Now, for the third level here, we'll get into this one last, but verifiable results. Are you consistently showing transformations / client wins? Showing strong case studies, results, or transformations is absolutely necessary. If you show weak results or weak transformations, you come off like a complete and utter amateur to your audience. A good example is that within this last week, we had some kid join where he got like a $500 close, and like a $500 close on he's just starting from ground zero on his coaching offer. And he closed someone for $500. I didn't even post it on my Instagram story. Not, it's an 18-year-old dude. We should absolutely be proud of him. But if you really think about it, it's like, for ourselves, it's like, well, we push people past $20K a month. So just showing $500, for example, on one of our Slack screenshots on Instagram or whatever it may be, it's just not confidence inspiring. Same for you guys. It doesn't matter if you have a fitness coaching offer or you have some sort of make money online offer. Do not show weak results ever. I know it's fucked, but like, you'd rather show no results than weak results. Trust me. If people see weak results, they're going to think that you're just playing fuck games, that you're not even serious. So next one is that people need to see results, case studies, and testimonials constantly. So consistently, people need to be seeing them. If they see them sporadically, they will think that none of your clients get results at all. Even though you're showing them sporadically, like it's better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but like if people don't see them constantly, ideally you're posting wins every single day. But fundamentally, if people don't, if they don't see it consistently, they think that nothing's happening at all. Because they see it once in a while, they're like, oh, geez, it's been a while since I've seen that. It takes, it's this infrequent, like once every 2 weeks. There's only results being posted once every 2 weeks. What the fuck? See what I mean? It comes off weird. And then last little thing in the results category is that people need to see results for people similar to themselves. So, and this is also circular, where the more results you post relating to a certain archetype or a certain type of client, and I'm talking like very, very deep here, like, if they're a guy or girl, their age range, like fucking even how they talk, their energy, their vibe. I know that's like a lot and that's really out there. It sounds like I'm a crystal girl or something, but like actually this is 1,000% true. It's circular in that the more you post results from that archetype of a client, the more of that you will get. Okay? And that's circular, like back and forth, where it's like people need to see results of people similar to themselves, because then they can connect with that person and be like, oh shit, like, oh, Vince got Dave to 20K a month and Dave is like me, so that would probably work for me too. And that's a brutally simple explanation, but you understand what I mean. I don't have to go hyper in depth on that. Now, in the logical, mechanical sense one, this is my trigger. Yeah, for buying something, it's always been about mechanical sense. It's to achieve a certain outcome, so on and so forth. I'm much more mechanical in my buying procedure, so this is my thing. So I just, as an example, right? There's some people where it is based on FOMO. Some people where they need to be hit over the head with case studies and results. That's usually how it goes, is that the more masculine someone is, the more they'll be triggered by FOMO and makes mechanical sense. And the more feminine someone is, the more they'll need to see more testimonials, and you need to be more Mr. Right. That's what I've noticed, is that if you're selling to a more male audience, the FOMO trigger and the mechanical sense trigger is more effective, and females, or more feminine males, like if someone's a vagina, they need to, they will ask you for quite literally like 1,000 fucking video testimonials. You could give them 999 and they won't buy it because it's not 1,000, like those types, just as an example, right? So verifiable results, and then Mr. Right is for more feminine audience. FOMO trigger and making mechanical sense is a more masculine and intelligent audience. Now, for the mechanical sense, making mechanical sense trigger, the offer needs to logically display and make sense as to how people get from A state to the B state. Straightforward. That's so self-explanatory. I don't even think I need to go in depth in there. You just need to literally, whether it doesn't matter if you're showing people on your screen in a Zoom call, whatever it may be, or in a diagram prior to the call, whatever it may be, it needs to make abundant sense as to how people get from the A state to the B state, right? Next is that people need to see that the offer is built for people in their exact situation. Kind of similar to this one, where if you're posting certain archetypes of results, you're going to get more of that. Similar here is that if your offer is crafted primarily for a certain ICP or certain client type, those are the kind of people you're going to draw in, and those are the people that are going to feel actually mechanically comfortable and logically comfortable making the purchase, because they can see that it's literally built for them. Hence why your targeting and niching down is incredibly important, because it needs to make logical sense on that front. Now, finally, people need to see the time frame. If someone's really smart, Like more smart people will ask about things like this, like very mechanical things like time frame, expected outcome, general timelines that have been shown before, so on and so forth, throughout the journey / program that you are providing. So time frame and expected outcome, and what is achieved consistently in your program is what this one is right here. So that is all. That's like the general overview of all these. Just missed it right, and treat this as like a go over this video again if need be. I know I went off on a tangent in the middle there about sales and stuff like that, but just, you know, it's probably good to hear a couple times anyway. But go back to this a couple times, and I wonder, I may or may not link this Miro board inside the description of the YouTube channel. You guys will know that. I'll see if I can without it being like a nightmare in terms of like permissions and everything. But go back through this. Make sure that you're checking all these boxes. In fact, I'll leave it. If you guys want to like fucking screen share, or I mean, sorry, like screenshot this right here. These are all the boxes that need to be checked for someone to buy inherently, or at least like 90% of these need to be checked off for someone to actually make a purchase, right? So I hope you guys found this extremely valuable. If you do run a coaching program or a done-with-you offer in any form or fashion, as long as it's not in the dating niche, we don't fuck with that anymore. No relationship. Health, if you have a health offer or a wealth offer, absolutely feel free to book a call in the description below. We routinely get people past 20K a month. You guys saw the proof of it. Yeah, you're right. I'm triggering your verifiable results mechanism right now. I'm showing you guys literal proof and verifiable results, right? So if you guys want to get to over 20K per month in your coaching offer, or you want to just add 20K a month, if you're stuck at say 10K and you want to add 20K a month to that, feel free to book a call in the description below. I look forward to speaking with you. Have a good rest of your day. I love you.